Are you thriving in the community? Could you be doing better? Let's find out. We welcome Paul Ortiz to the program, member of Thrive, the committee I suppose you are on.
Yeah, we're kind of a project. I think we started probably 15 years ago as a committee, but then we became a project, so it's called the Thrive Project. And we have about, I'd say 10 members, and we kind of just work on events that we can get people together and get them out of the house and meet new friends and have a good time here in our community.
Is that what the stepping off point was for Thrive, the concept behind it? What was it at its core?
Yeah, it was the book in New York that the gentleman had put together, and it was all these different faces and people and how they were now thriving and how they were just, from different places all over the world. And yet, here we are in Laguna Woods, kind of the same thing, right? We have so many different demographics now and different people from all over the world. It was just a matter of, hey, if they can do that in New York, we can do that in Laguna Woods Village, and just try and get people together.
So what are some of the things you're working on, like in your regular meetings and that kind of thing, in terms of the regular routine of it?
Yeah, so we meet monthly, and the biggest thing is like every quarter we try to do something where we're at Clubhouse 7 trying to have an event. So most of that 3 months is just preparing and scheduling and kind of just kicking around ideas about how can we get people more interested, what kind of activities can we have, and what kind of speakers actually can we get into these events. And then we work very closely with Memorial Care. So some of their speakers have been with us, some of their doctors have been with us. And this month, we're actually going to have someone from the Orange County Fire Authority with us.
Okay.
And that event is coming up on August 28th.
Okay, and that's going to be the ice cream social that you guys usually do?
You just said it. Ice cream social. We do that once a year because that's kind of our big thing. We actually bring an ice cream truck out to the back of Clubhouse 7. Our guests are able to go out there. It's just like being a kid again. You're out there in the sunshine, getting yourself,
eating ice cream,
at the
getting
menu.
Sprinkles and chocolate syrup.
It's the 50-50 bar. It's all those wonderful ice creams that we had when we were kids. So that's always a popular event. So that is what we'll be having on August 28th.
And Orange County Fire Authority, they're going to be talking about?
Mostly about safety, home safety. Station 22 is one of the busiest stations in the country. And a lot of it is just slip and falls and things of that nature. So our captain will be just talking about, different safety procedures that you can do in your home that are pretty easily, like, rugs and extension cords and things of that nature. And, he's he knows the community very well. So he'll just share some experiences that they've had here in the community and what we can do to kind of help them do a better job and how we can become safe in our own community.
Yeah, and the important thing I know that we've all kind of like been reminded with all the fires that we had recently is those go bags.
Yeah.
And the special things that a lot of seniors need in a go bag, like their medications and where is your pets, where are your documents, and the things that you need. Those things.
That's a great point, because we are going to be working with the disaster preparedness committee and their task force as well. But yeah, those go bags are so important. And of course, we just had that tsunami warning. So you're like thinking,
I know.
Right, am I really ready for anything? No. So, it's more like, getting people to realize, hey, where's my to-go bag? What do I need it? And especially medication, not only for yourself, maybe your spouse, but, if you have animals at home too, animals sometimes need medication. Make sure they have some treats and some water and things like that.
How does Memorial Care kind of come into all this? When did you guys start with them, and why do they see it as a need? Because they've been a partner for a long time.
Well, Memorial Care has always been our neighbor. Ross Cortese actually and GRF donated the land to the hospital. So they've been basically our neighbor from the very beginning. And about 5 years ago, we were able to bring them on board where they're sponsoring the Breeze magazine. But we thought, what can we do? That's delivered to the home. What can we do that's more face-to-face? So we worked with their marketing and PR people, and somehow they became involved with Thrive. And they bring a lot to the table because their staff goes out to the community all the time. They're face-to-face with our residents, and they get us, doctors and information and all kinds of things that we can include in our events. And they help subsidize a lot of these costs, especially the Breeze. And even for our event for our ice cream truck, that's not cheap, but Memorial Care steps up and helps us out. And without them, a lot of our events would be kind of minimal.
So the project is getting people out of their houses and into the community. How have you seen that in action when you've been at maybe an ice cream social or some event like that, where people who haven't been as involved and engaged suddenly start doing that?
Right. We've seen that, and that has been the most pleasurable part of being a part of this task force, is that we had residents, 4 or 5 years ago, and you could tell they'd never really come out to an event, and we welcomed them, and now we see them every quarter, and now they have friends. So now they showed up. It's kind of being in the classroom, right? When you're a new kid in school, you kind of sit in the back and you kind of just wait your turn. Well, that's really what happens each time, because we always have new people that come in each time. But then the next time we see them in class, they're mingling with everyone else and engaging with everyone. We always have kind of like social games before, just so people can kind of get warmed up and get a feel for who's at their table and meeting new friends and new neighbors. And it's so great to see them, continue as we do one event after another.
Does it surprise you? Because as an outsider, I see this community, I interview so many people about so many things that you can get involved in and get engaged in this community. Does it surprise you to know that some people come in here and they come here to retire and they stay in their home? Is that kind of a weird concept for a community like this?
It is to me. I have a dear friend that, it's funny you say that. I went and I had a visit with her last week. She lives in Gate 14. She has a beautiful place, and I'm like, so what are you doing with yourself? You've been here like 5 years now. And she's like, oh, I don't know. She stays home. And I'm like, you got to do Thrive. I mean, you like to draw, you like to do art, go to the art association, go to where the clubhouse for. So it is surprising that people do move in here, but they don't engage and they don't get into the amenities as much as I thought they would. Some of them do. Obviously, a lot of people do enjoy it. I would say a large majority.
The majority,
they're
right.
here because of the amenities. But, we're trying to reach those people that, just haven't, gotten outside as much as they should, and then maybe haven't had that connection that possibly we can help facilitate.
That sense of the community is important.
Right.
Speaking of that, there's a generational project that you guys are trying to launch with Thrive.
Yeah, we've kind of experienced that. We've run into residents who were like, oh, you live here? And like, yeah, my mom and dad lived here, and my grandfather and my grandmother lived here. And, this is going back to the 1960s.
Right.
So you'll see something on the message board where we're looking for people that are part of that generational process. And we've had a couple. Judy Blando is one resident that we're going to be working with, and we have a couple of others that we are friends with. But we're looking for people that, hey, you are now living here, and whether it's in the same property or whether you just moved down the street or across the community, but you all started because your mother or father lived here, or your grandfather or grandmother lived here. So it's kind of a neat story. We're going to kind of follow them along. Like, okay, you first started coming here as a kid.
Right.
What did you think of the place? What was it all about? Especially if you were here in the 60s and 70s.
They snuck you into the pool.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what'd you guys do? I enjoy when I go around the community, you'll see residents with their grandchildren in golf carts. So, what a great experience for a kid to come out and go see grandpa and grandma and cruise around in a golf cart.
Yeah, it's crazy to think they're like third generational people here, and now they're the retired ones too.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Yeah. Well, Paul Ortiz, thank you for joining us. Thank you for talking to us about Thrive. People can find out more information on their website, and looking forward to the ice cream social in August.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.